question is, could you give us an example of a few businesses that you have funded and how your work with them has really impacted their ability to respond in this crisis?
Sure, happy to. Yeah, we've seen all different types of businesses needing support during these times. And so, a couple of examples, we've had a yoga studio, for example, who's been opened and then closed again and then open and has certain restrictions around the way that they've been able to open. And so, we've done a larger loan for them, really to support them with current business expenses, but also to think about how are they going to pivot their business to be open within health guidelines and have some more outdoor space where they could actually continue to preserve jobs with their employees that they have as part of the yoga studio, but also to conform their outdoor space so that they can actually continue to have classes in person and respect social distancing and sanitation practices and really promote wellness within their community. So that's preserving jobs for their employees and then also assisting them to pivot and think about their business model differently, given that this situation may not be as temporary as we'd all hope that it would be. Another example is, providing a smaller loan for like a home-based daycare, where that in that situation they have to have less children in the home for social distancing and sanitation practices. They have to make sure that they have certain cleaning supplies, but they're really ultimately providing a much needed service for families in a community where, they're really needing childcare services. And so helping them with their business expenses during that time frame, given that they have to have less children enrolled in their daycare, and providing them an opportunity to really still provide families within their local community that much needed support during this time.
It's so clear that these small businesses are really the heart and soul of our communities and will be helping all of us get through this. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, and we've seen so many businesses pivot their business models, and there's certainly businesses that are struggling, and we're going to see businesses close during these time frames. But I think the other thing is we're seeing so many people, reimagine their business models. In some cases, improve upon things that they've been wanting to do. For example, getting a website up and running that maybe they had put off in the past, but now really have been forced to challenge themselves to actually get that up and running and figure out a way to take online sales. You're seeing, people that may not necessarily be able to have folks in their restaurant, but they're, putting together at-home taco kits where they can make tacos at home and giving those to their constituents and their customers, and really trying to engage their community in different ways. And, we do know from our history working with small businesses, they are resilient, they are inspirational, and they are so hardworking and passionate about what they do. And, we all will work together to help them through these challenging times. And, it's amazing to have the support for people to shop local and to, really offer a sense of community during these times. So thank you again for having us, Sarah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
So another question I wanted to ask was, you often hear that investing in CDFI, let me try that again, sorry.
This conference will now be recorded.
Well, another question I wanted to ask Elizabeth was, you often hear that by investing in a CDFI, you can really have a long-term ripple effect. And I was wondering if you could speak to how, when investors work with you, how you offer them that.
Yeah, so I think one of the interesting things that I always like to share is just when we do take investment capital, and that can be in the form of a grant or an actual investment. And so we take that and we create a loan fund, right? Depending upon the goals of the investor and the goals of the CDFI and who we ultimately collectively want to lend to with these dollars. And what's really interesting about that investment is that it can recirculate. So the CDFI can deploy that capital initially to a set of small businesses based off of those criteria that the funder and the CDFI have agreed upon. And then as the small businesses repay, it's really the gift that keeps on giving, because that capital then recirculates over and over again for decades to come, depending upon the structure of the investment. And so it really has an opportunity to have a long-term impact, both on the local economy, the small businesses the number of small businesses that it serves, and the number then of those small businesses that they're employing. And so there's this long-term butterfly effect to an investment that is done through a CDFI from a local foundation or a bank or any other type of investor that's looking to support small businesses through CDFI institutions.
Great, thank you.